Hey everybody. Sorry I'm later than I thought I would be. I put my phone down and my phone is like, it was on its, I don't know, on this side of it, so the screen was black and I couldn't find it anywhere. Right after I talked to you guys, and I was so mad at myself. I'm forgetful, y'all. But sorry guys, welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I am your host, Dion Gabriel, and we've got a lot to talk about today. Not just the show itself, but some behind the scenes stuff as well. So we'll get into that before we get into the plotline of the show. But I'm happy y'all are here. Allison, yeah, Lucas is probably screwed. I agree. Hey SLJ, hey Brooklyn, hey Sandy. Good to see y'all in the chat. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was pretty low-key, honestly, which, not a bad thing, honestly. There. Also, got my water. Oh, man. Happy belated Valentine's Day for any significant or others that you might have, you and yours. I'm single AF, so I stayed home yesterday. Actually, you know what? My Valentine was my doggo, my little Toffee. She got groomed yesterday morning, and poor girl. Whenever they shave like around her little butthole, it gets so itchy and she goes crazy, and I just feel so bad for her right now. My mom is walking her right now as we speak, actually. But yeah, she's struggling, y'all. She's struggling. But yeah, before we get into the show, we'll talk about some of the behind-the-scenes shakeups that were announced this week. The biggest one being that Steve Burton announced that he is temporarily stepping away from his role as Jason Morgan and will return this summer. He shot his last scenes this past week and should continue to air until around April, I'm thinking. And if he returns to the set in the summer, that means we'll likely see him in the fall. Steve says it's so he can spend some more time with his family and to just live his life for a little bit. And as anyone in his position tends to endure, face backlash and rumors and everyone speculating that it's for this reason, that reason, or the other reason. And I think, honestly, we should respect that the reason he gave is the reason he's doing it. And not speculate further than that. Listen, as someone who's kind of doing the same thing myself right now, I don't think, what he's doing, there's anything more to it. I don't know. Right now I'm taking a step back from the most time-consuming part of my life to prioritize the things that have been wrongfully put on the back burner. So that makes sense to me that that's what he's doing. Obviously, there's a reason Steve came to the decision, and that part is really none of our business. But I, for one, am happy he's choosing to do what he seems to know that he has to do right now. So I'm all for Steve doing that. I'm more interested in how they'll write Jason Morgan off. Do you think he'll make a pretty big sacrifice to Britt from this? Obviously, she's in a tight grip with Sidwell and his people, and it would be a big way to get him off the show. Kaiwan, you always have every conspiracy theory that every single time gets proven wrong, so maybe keep that to yourself. Anyway, the other piece of news that we have that some of the other fans have noticed is that Finola Hughes is no longer in the ending credits. We haven't heard too much about it though, nothing's really been said at all from anyone, anywhere. It's just that fans notice that she's not in the credits, but usually when someone is no longer featured in the credits, it implies that they've been taken off a contract. Finola has been back on the show since 2012. And that's like a 14-year run, which is twice as long as her original run. So, I hope that this isn't the end for Finola and Anna Devane, because if this is the way that they're having her character go out, it dishonors her legacy as a character who's constantly kicked ass and took names under even the worst of circumstances. So I hope this is not the last we see of Finola. On that note, let's get into the stories that went down this week. Staying on topic of Anna, anyway, Emma returned from seeing Anna in Paris, absolutely devastated, and told Gio that she's got to leave Port Charles to break the news to Robin about her mom. A decision she and Robert apparently made together off screen, obviously had to be off screen. Personally, I'm a bit more surprised that Emma was informed before Robin was. I'm assuming that it was Anna who got to tell the people at the mental hospital who to reach out to, but it is what it is. Joss had stopped in to fish for answers about Anna from Emma, but Gio shut it down pretty quickly because he's seen how much Emma was struggling with this interaction, and eventually he takes her to the airport. I don't know if Emma's gone for good. I mean, Gio's slightly heartbroken and he doesn't really know when she'll be back, and Emma's so family oriented that she might choose to stay with her mom and dad and brother during this time. But I don't know, I haven't heard anything about the actress temporarily leaving or anything. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if this might be the way that they're slowly going to weave Robert Scorpio's death into the show. Just a speculation on my part, I don't know anything. Tony Geary's special episode, I think, is airing, I'm pretty sure this week, if not next week. So maybe Tristan's is just around the corner. Hard to say, because sometimes they'll wait forever to write it into the story, but Monica, in the case of Monica, like, she was in Port Charles, so they wanted to kind of make her a pivotal part of the storyline, and they probably had to deal with things like availability for the actress that played Monica's sister. Isn't this Anna's vacation time? I'm not too sure. I'm honestly not too sure. But I don't know. I feel like she's been taking less vacations lately. So I don't know. But I feel like even when she's been on vacation, they don't take her out of the ending credits. So that's why people are kind of interested in what's going on here. Now, the fallout of the news about Anna's condition as well is making waves in the rest of Port Charles too. Laura and Mac had to inform Dante that Anna would not be stepping back into her role as police commissioner and offered the position to him. They gave him time to think about it, so he's thinking about it. He's not sure he wants to make it, obviously, but he also doesn't buy that Anna has fallen apart over this phase-on thing. Nor does Jack Brennan, who Callum broke the news to this week as well. Neither of them are buying it. Dante pays Jack a visit trying to get answers about it, and Jack wants answers just as bad. Dante tells him that Anna swears that there was no WSB mission, and Jack believes it, and the two of them agree to work together to figure out what's going on, because both of these men who know Anna better than most due to working with her professionally, they think that something stinks, and I don't blame it. Hi, Brooklyn. Yeah, we already talked about Steve. That was the first thing we discussed today. But yeah. Look at my notes there. Oh, yes. Yes. So yeah, Dante and Jack seem to know Anna well enough to know that something sinister is going on. But I wish that they extended that to people like Felicia and Mac, who just seem to be buying that Anna's had a psychotic break. Felicia did pay Jason a visit to let him know that Anna's not doing well, but still gives him the message that she wanted to give Jason, which is that Faison is alive and only he can stop him. Jason seems on the fence about Anna, given that he's the one that shot and killed Faison in the first place, but he can't rule it out with Britt and Nathan being alive. Hell, half of Port Charles have come back alive at this point. So, like, the fact that anyone thinks that Faison being alive is impossible, with Britt and Nathan also being brought back alive in the last few months, like, you'd think that they'd be taking her a bit more seriously. I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. By the way, Callum also let Carly know in passing about it, and she told Valentine, and he doesn't buy it any more than not Jason, but Jack and Dante do. Not that he can really do much about it from where he is. Valentine also had a surprise visit from Charlotte to warn him that Nina was working with Jack to try and track him down. She also let him know that Danny knows the truth and just how much she trusts him, which, bleh. That's pretty much all I want to say about the Charlotte and Danny front. The scenes with Jason and Alexis seeming to think that it's weirdly adorable that he's crushing on his cousin while discussing their family ties were disturbing enough. So that's all that on that. Valentine and Carly, they were also trying to get answers about what's going on at Windermere, and while Valentine wanted to go again, Carly already had an open invitation to go there as long as she apologizes to Lucas and agrees to try and get to know Marco better. And she does so, biting her tongue. And she was going to use that opportunity to snoop, but Lucas had to go into work, so she had to leave with him. But Carly ended up back in Port Charles first because Lucas forgot his phone and goes back into Windermere. But when he gets back, he overhears Marco and his father Sidwell talking. And basically about everything. About Carly being a problem if she's hovering around Windermere, and the darker revelation of forcing Britt to work on the project by holding her medication hostage so she can work on Faison's final project to completion more quickly. And to make matters worse, Pascal witnessed him overhearing this. So far, Pascal hasn't appeared to tell anyone anything, and maybe it was because of what happened earlier in the week. So Lucas has always found Pascal to be a little bit creepy and hovering a little too closely to the both of them. And he even accuses Pascal of wanting Marco to himself. So he thinks that Pascal has feelings for Marco, I guess. And maybe Lucas was onto something since Pascal hasn't told anything to anyone yet. Because he knows, Lucas knows the truth, so let it play out and he'll be out of Lucas's life maybe. But I don't know. It's a little left field. I don't hate the possibility. I don't think that Pascal and Marco are into each other, and I don't know if they were ever a thing in the past. But could easily play into why Pascal hasn't told Marco. We'll see. But yeah. Either way, Britt made sure that Marco knew that the moment Lucas does find out the truth about him, he'd lose him for sure. So I'm glad that Britt tried to basically appeal to Marco's love for Lucas, because I think she thinks it's sincere, and it very well might be. It probably is, honestly, but she's right. Lucas would be done, and he pretty much is. Lucas confides in Elizabeth, by the way, about Marco not being who he says he is. And while she's she's trying to make excuses for Marco, but at the same time she's like, well, you need to get out of Windermere though, because it's dangerous. You need to leave. I think Lucas didn't really tell her all the details about what Marco said, but basically she does tell him that Marco is basically his right-hand man in the situation. Is Pascal the first gay villain on GH? I don't know. Well, there was Sally. Sally was a cross-dresser. I don't think she was actually transgender. Back in the 80s during the Luke and Laura left-handed boy storyline. But they didn't really address his sexuality either. And we've seen him as a boy and a girl. So, I don't know. Maybe technically, but we don't even know that Pascal's gay, actually. Lucas is just speculating that Pascal has feelings for Marco, but he's never addressed his own sexuality. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't remember what storyline we're gonna watch next in the reactions. Hey, Laura. But Left-Handed Boy is in there, so you're gonna see Sally sometime this year on our little throwback Wednesdays. So actually, no, I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's probably the third storyline we're watching. So like maybe this fall. Yeah. Sally in the 80s, just who was only there for the left-handed boy storyline for Luke and Laura. But yeah, way back in the day. 81, 80, 1980, 1980. Another fun storyline though, and I'll make sure that when we do watch that storyline this year, whenever that may be, we'll get her scenes too. But yeah, after Lucas had confided in Elizabeth, when he gets back there, he sees Marco on the phone talking about Sunny Corinthos on the parapet that apparently is still there despite the weird makeover that Windermere now has on the outside, looking like a Maritimes museum. And judging from the previews, it looks like he even tries to manhandle Lucas. Not on the parapet. They seem to be back inside at the point where Marco grabs Lucas and basically telling him that he's not going anywhere. And Lucas looks terrified. But yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. It's okay, Allison. I wasn't even born yet. I just binged the storyline way back in like the mid-2000s on YouTube, so I was not born for another 10 years when that storyline was happening. Anyway, the walls are slowly closing in on Sidwell, but because between Carly and Lucas, Jack and Dante, and even Lucy, everyone's got their eyes on him. Lucy wants to bring him down because when she tried to force Sidwell earlier in the week to choose between her and Ava, he flat out told her that he does not like ultimatums and therefore goodbye. But Lucy wants to bring him down and wants to work with Sunny to do it. He doesn't love the idea, but Lucy doesn't care and sets her own plan in motion. She knows that he's likely using deception as a front and is determined to find out what he's bringing into Port Charles. But I don't think Sidwell is as stupid as she seems to think he is. So good luck, Lucy. I think you're playing with fire here. Angel said, I'm glad they got Windermere looking like a castle again. Well, yeah, hopefully we don't see that shot of Windermere ever again. Oh, man. Allison says she can go. Lucy's a dingbat. Man. But yeah. But you know, Sidwell will also have one more person to worry about as well. Maxie Jones. She woke up randomly. She was even well enough to walk out of her hospital room and scold James just as they were leaving town to go back to Port Charles. Oh, soaps. Anyway, obviously, she had some wonderful scenes with her kids, and Spinelli, and Felicia. She mostly looked well-rested. Kirsten Storms looks gorgeous. But Felicia does have to dress the elephant in the room. Her former thought-to-be-dead husband, Nathan, James's father, seems to be back in the land of the living. The show really ended with that revelation, so we don't really know how she's reacting just yet. But if anyone can figure out what's going on with Nathan, and if he's really him, it's probably her. She'll also have to be told that Britt is alive, because that happened while she was in the coma as well. And that Anna's in a mental institution in another country. And that Monica's dead. So, like, it's so weird to think, like, all this happened in the last, like, 6 months. Maxie doesn't know what Sidwell did. Well, the thing is, she knows something because Sidwell poisoned her. Like, she doesn't know that he did that to her, but he poisoned her for a reason. She seemed to know something, and it was enough that made Sidwell want to get her out of the way. So they weren't really detailed about when it happened. Like, it seemed like a flimsy reason to get her off the show quickly, but they have to write in a reason for it. Nathan doesn't seem to care about Maxie anymore. Well, yeah, he obviously has things with feelings for Lulu, which we'll talk about in a second, but you know, it's like he'll still be excited for her to be awake. And I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's going to bring a little more drama to them, obviously. Nathan and Lulu developing feelings for each other, which Brooklyn caught wind of just at the end of the week. I love that their truce lasted only as long as Maxie was in a coma, and their hate-on for each other hit the ground running the day she woke up, even before they got the news that she woke up, which they did get the news right at the end of Friday's episode. But yeah. Either way, I'm really excited to see how things play out for Maxie here, with all of the stories that kind of got left to the side while she's been away. Do you think she even remembers seeing the ghost of Nathan walk away with Georgie into the afterlife on his funeral day? I doubt it. Just something they'll have to quickly sweep under the rug. But yeah. There were some other like D-list fluff storyline things sprinkled into the show this week, like Molly and Cody being encouraged by, people that care about them to try and work out their relationship. Elizabeth agreeing to go on a date with Rick, which I think we see play out on Monday. Brooklyn seeing how good Chase and Gio are with little kids. Michael talking to Jacinda about Willow getting 40% custody of kids and not being let known right away. But the last big plot thing that we had to discuss is the paternity of Portia's baby. She agreed to do the test, and Curtis, Trina, Isaiah, and Portia all waited together for the results. And just as I expected, Curtis is the father of Portia's baby. Because if Isaiah was, there'd be less drama about it. So it doesn't surprise me, and I don't think anyone's switched the test. Like, I think Portia genuinely wants to know the truth and move on. She had a good talk with Elizabeth about it before taking the test. And this is the way that, the story is going. Which is not surprising to me, because I figured that this would be exactly where the story would go. And I don't think anyone would just randomly switch the results. Because why at this point? She made a mess of her own life, and Curtis being the father is the messier outcome. But yeah, Curtis, he's happy. Isaiah, he's devastated. But he still says that he's on a relationship with her, which I'm actually happy for Portia on that front. Curtis and Portia, they agreed to go through with the divorce, and they're already agreeing on a 50-50 split custody agreement with each other. They kind of go week by week and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't see that sort of agreement being sustainable for them, because Portia already happens to hate the idea of Jordan spending time with her baby. And I think that's going to come into play. Maybe not right away, but it's going to come down the pike. They've shown flashbacks of Jordan and Portia's arguments, and Jordan obviously seems nervous knowing that Portia doesn't want her to be in her baby's life, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly, Allison. Like, if anyone were to screw with the paternity results, it would be Drew, but he is stuck in purgatory, basically, watching Willow torture him. So we got a little bit of a break from that this week, but I'm sure we'll see more of it next week. But there's just so much that's going to happen next week as well. Yeah, I am not a Curtis fan either, Kaiwan. That's one thing we do agree with. Curtis is self-righteous to a fault, and even Portia's like, Jordan, Isaiah actually asks Portia if Jordan being around his kid is going to be a problem, and she's just like, they ain't gonna last, because Curtis is so self-righteous that he's their relationship is going to implode because she won't be able to live up to his high standards. Allison says, couldn't happen to a more deserving guy. But yeah, I think it's Portia's not wrong. I think all it's going to take is Jordan having to keep something a secret from him that he won't like. Even though they've had that sort of discussion, I don't think Curtis is as easygoing with it as he plays himself off to be. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. My guess, like, if she's gonna have to keep another secret from him, I think maybe she'll find out that, like, Willow actually shot Drew, and that Drew didn't really have a stroke. I think she'll find that out somehow before he does. Allison, you said Donnell is fine, but Curtis is a self-centered prick. Yeah, I love me some Donnell. I've had a man crush on Donnell for a long time. It's a man crush because I'm gay, obviously. But yeah, he is fine as hell, guys. Angel, you said, is Curtis being the father of the messier outcome? I don't know. Like, I think it is because it gives more drama. The child can see through an affair. I mean, it would be a bigger thing if Curtis and Portia were still in a relationship, but they're not. Like, they're over each other. They're on the verge of getting a divorce. And if Curtis wasn't the father, he would just wipe his hands clean from her. But now she's in a relationship with a new guy, and he's going to be all up in their space all the time. So that creates the messier outcome to me. Otherwise, Curtis would just be like, I'm done forever now. He has no reason to even have Portia in his life, apart from Trina. But Trina's an adult, so, like, there's not going to be much there regardless. If that were the other way. But it's not. This to me seems to be the messier outcome. But anyway, that's kind of all that happened. I don't really have much more to say. Like, I don't have a whole lot to say about the stuff with Molly and Cody because it's all just silly fluff to me. Like, obviously they're gonna get back together. Cody just has to read the rest of the book to get that, you know, they're still good. Still legally married, ain't divorced, but it doesn't matter because they've already, by the end of the week, signed the papers to move forward with it. So the divorce is happening. And it wouldn't make a difference because they're not in an actual relationship anymore. Like, I don't know why you think that makes a difference. Like, they're getting divorced. They've moved forward with it. And that'll last for a day. Because they're already doing it. So where's the drama? Teenage drama with 30-year-olds. I think they're older than 30. Listen, if they're 5 years younger than me and have a 21-year-old daughter, like, come on. Curtis has been gray, you know, he's been a salt and pepper silver fox guy for like the last 10 years. They're pushing 50 at this point. But yeah, it doesn't make it messy. They've been, you know, moving forward with the divorce. The only reason why it was on the hiatus was just because, you know, my mother told me don't mess with no man until he's fully legally divorced. But okay, but what drama is there though, Angel? What drama is it? They've been done for the relationship for like a year now. So where does it create drama in the story any further than it already is? The drama's already happened. Like he would just wash his hands of her more quickly, but they're doing it quickly anyway. So there's no drama there. Oh, Cody and Molly. For some reason I was thinking you were thinking of Curtis and Portia. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Cody and Molly are definitely probably like in their 30s. Angel, do you really think Portia and Curtis are going to change their mind at this point? Do you really think they're going to change their mind? They want nothing to do with each other. Portia sees Curtis as the self-righteous idiot that he actually is, that I think most people in chat probably agree with, including yourself. And Curtis just would never trust Portia with anything ever again. There's nothing left there. Nothing. So where's the drama? If Isaiah was the father, Curtis would be like, okay, confirmed, bye. Like, that would be it. That would be it. And he'd move on with Jordan and never speak to her again unless it has to do with Trina. Like, there would be no drama there. None. Zippo. They hate each other. Therefore, the messier outcome would be that Curtis is stuck dealing with her for the rest of his child's, life. Both of his children's lives. But yeah, sorry, Angel. Like, there's just no drama in making Isaiah the father. As much as I would have loved for him to be the father, they don't do like non-drama in the show, and that's exactly why they made him the father. Or made Curtis the father instead. But yeah, and I guess just to round up the other fluffy storylines. There wasn't a huge deal made about Jacinto not learning until later that Willow got 40% custody. She was like a little bit concerned that he did it because of her. And while Michael said that it was partially because of that, the biggest factor was the charges that could be against him and the risk of him losing full custody if they don't do this agreement. Isaiah still gives me crazy. I don't know. I don't get that with him. I think he was upset that he wasn't the father, but I don't get crazy from him. Probably said Portia is 50. She's probably close to it. I mean, she's older, so that's why she's been nervous about her pregnancy in general, but and I'm sure that'll create some drama when the birth comes around. Sandy said, is Trina finally happy now? No, she's not. She's feeling a little down. She sees how sad Portia was, and she's feeling some type of way about it. She's also not sure she wants to keep Portia in her life because of the mistrust. And it leads, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because it leads to a conversation with Ava and Trina, and we got to hear Ava speak about Kiki for the first time in a long time, and just really reflect on how things ended before she died, in the sense that, she ended up with Griffin. She hated Kiki for it, and it resulted in Ryan killing her as a gift to Ava. And, she has to carry that regret for the rest of her life that they didn't make amends before she died. Austin said, Trina's never going to be happy. I don't care. She's a brat. They do have her being so childish. You know what it's giving to me? It's giving, like, child Michael Corinthos. Like, Dylan Cash Michael Corinthos. The little redhead kid that played Michael for, like, the first... the adolescence years of his life before he went into a coma for a year. The daughter that didn't want her family to get divorced and broken up, and I think she's uncomfortable. I get the uncomfortable level, and she knows that Isaiah's gonna have to be a part of her life if she wants her mom to stay in her life. And she does address that she loves her mom, but it's just a lot to sit with. But at the end of the day, Portia's an adult. It's her life. She makes mistakes, just like Trina's bound to make mistakes in her adult life, including, witnessing a murder and not speaking up about it, or an attempted murder, I should say. Sandy said, I love Ava and Trina's relationship. I do too. And I love that they're so open and honest with each other, because Ava's like, that I'm a flawed woman. I'm a mess. And yet you've given me chances, so extend the same grace to your mom, because she's your actual mom. Yeah, that too, Angel. That too. But yeah, beyond that, there's nothing really else to talk about. Again, I'm interested to see how they're going to write Steve Burton out. I think he'll get in danger for Britt. But we'll see. He'll be the next guy in a coma, probably. Or he'll be held hostage, just like Anna was. We'll see. Yeah, Ava's a killer after all. Yep. She is. Portia hasn't killed anyone, so she's done less than Ava has in her life. But yeah, that's all for today, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the live chat and live stream. We'll be live again this Wednesday to watch more of the Ice Princess storyline. I still haven't looked over where we're going to pick up where we in the story. We might just pick up where we left off. We'll see. Or we'll get further in when they actually start going inside the lair of Mikos Castadine. We'll see. Held hostage or prison or in a foreign country. Probably in a foreign country, in a prison. Or in a mental institution, just like Anna. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that. Oh yeah, I'm glad you got to tune in this time, Laura. It's good to see you in the chat. We miss ya. Alright. Well, have a good night. I'll see you guys Wednesday. If you like this live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys later on this week. Mwah. Good night.